Hey folks, Ed here from Brain Pulp TV, and I'm here today to open up a fat pack of Shadows Over Innistrad. Now, we've done one opening so far on the channel for Shadows Over Innistrad. It was the Booster Box Apocalypse 12-pack opening. There was a lot of preamble to that because I had to explain what the Booster Box Apocalypse is, as well as the Mana Cave, and so on and so forth. No preamble here. We're just going to get right to the fat pack right now. Okay, so here is the fat pack in question. I am going to be opening this sucker up very carefully. Now, fat packs are still one of my favorite products that Wizards of the Coast comes out with when it comes to new sets. I really like the design and the idea behind them and what you get with them. The box itself, which is beautifully illustrated here, and it's actually very, very sturdy cardboard. So for someone starting out that maybe has a little bit more money to invest than simply an intro pack or something like that, a fat pack is kind of a good way to go. If you don't want to quite invest in an entire booster box, and at the same time you still want to open up packs as opposed to just buying singles, because this box here, very sturdy, really helps hold a collection, especially a budding collection, a new collection for a new player. So you could do a lot worse than getting a fat pack, which would have this little box here to hold your collection. Now, you also get a security thing, which amuses me every time for some strange reason. Cardboard, very useful. Another really cool thing that you get, now I realize with like the age of the internet and everything, you can find card lists and set lists online. However, I like having this because they have the hole punched in. You can put it into a binder if you want to keep your collection in a binder, and the player's guide is just a cool little reference, which not only shows the cards that are in the set at the back, but I mean it also gives the story. It gives a breakdown of the major players in this particular storyline as well too, some background in the world. It's just a nice little thing to have when you're just learning, especially about Shadows of Innistrad or any of the planes in Magic the Gathering. You also get this, which opens up. This is just a sleeve that the fat pack comes into, but it opens up into a nice little fold-out thing. Now, you can use this as sort of like decoration on a shelf somewhere in your room where you keep your collection. You can also use as a pinch, like as a DM screen if you do any sort of gaming like that. But yeah, this is just sort of a little added bonus where the packaging itself is a little bit of art for you. Now we're gonna open up the fat pack here, and there's more cardboard, of course. Now we're gonna get to the only complaint I have about the fat pack. Fat packs come with these two little boxes that you can put together, and they're little sort of deck boxes. Now, they're not big enough to hold sleeved cards, which kind of annoys me, but what I usually end up using these for is holding tokens, holding dice, or something like that, but for holding cards itself, they're not as useful as they could be. So I'm still not sure why they don't make these just a little bit bigger so that it actually could hold a sleeved deck. But as you can see, nice little bit of artwork with Avacyn and Sorin there. Now, the main thing that you want, of course, from the fat pack is the packs of cards themselves. I'm just going to move the box out of the way. You also get a spin down die, which is really cool. So it's a life counter here. And the spin down dies for each of the sets come with the set symbol on them. This one is red. I know they come out with ones for every color of the mana symbols. You also get a brick of land, once again, which is really great if a new player starting out. Now, as well too, with Shadows Over Innistrad, you don't get a land in every single. One sec, my phone is ringing. Sorry about that. It ended up actually being a wrong number. Anyways, as I was saying, with the Shadows of Innistrad packs, you don't get a land in every single pack. So this little brick of land is actually more useful than I thought it would be, because I was expecting to get lands with the packs as well too. So I'm kind of glad to have this, because I like having a set of the lands from each of the sets. So this is useful for new players and for players who just like rounding out their collections. But of course we got the packs, which is the most important thing. And you get 9 of them in total from a fat pack. So there we go. I'm going to open these up right now, and we're going to see what pulls we get. One sec, my phone's ringing. It's probably the same wrong number. I love it when people dial the wrong number and then dial the exact same number thinking somehow it's going to be magically right the second time they dial the same number. Anyways, getting back to the pack itself, I'm just going to go over the uncommons and the rares. I almost forgot. I like to do, like, sort of, not statistics, but I usually count the mythics in each sort of product that I open up. So there'll be a counter in the side there for the mythics. Foils as well, too. Let's see, what other things? I think last time I picked the clues, see how many clue tokens I got. You know what, yeah, we're just gonna stick with the same thing for this. I'll probably try to think of something different when I open up a booster box, but yeah, so we're gonna count the clues on the screen, we're gonna count the foils, and we're gonna count the mythics. Now, it's only 9 packs, so we may end up with none of any of those, but, you know, if that's the case, that's the case. Anyways, we have Broken Concentration, Woodland Stream, Indulgent Aristocrat, and our first rare is To the Slaughter, which has really, really cool artwork. It is 2 and 1 black, gets you an instant. Target player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. It has Delirium, which means if there are 4 or more card types among the cards in your graveyard, instead that player sacrifices a creature and a planeswalker. And our flip card is Village Messenger. I'm going to read through the flip cards for the Fat Pack. Probably won't do them for the booster box, but I'll read through the flip cards for the Fat Pack. We have Village Messenger, which is for 1 red, gets you a 1/1 human werewolf. It has haste, and at the beginning of each upkeep, like with all werewolves, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Village Messenger, and it transforms into Moonrise Intruder, which is a 2/2 werewolf with menace. And then at the beginning of each upkeep, like with all werewolves again, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform Moonrise Intruder. Hey, and we have West Vale Abbey, which is actually a card I was hoping to get. It is one of the rare lands, so we got 2 rares out of this pack, so, you know, right there, it's a win-win. You can tap it to add 1 colorless to your mana pool. You can pay 5 and tap, pay 1 life, put a 1/1 white black human cleric creature token onto the battlefield, or you can pay 5 and tap and sacrifice 5 creatures, transform West Vale Abbey, then untap it, and it transforms into Ormendal. I'm pronouncing that somewhat correctly, maybe. Profane Prince, which is a 9/7 legendary demon creature. It has flying, lifelink, indestructible, and haste, which makes it a force to be reckoned with. So that is very cool. First pack, 2 rares. Can't ask for much more than that. And a spirit token. Okay, our first uncommon is Giza's Bidding. Near Heath, right? Near Heath? Near Heath Chaplain, Pack Guardian, and the rare is Burn from Within, which has really cool artwork. It is X and 1 red, gives you a sorcery. Burn from Within deals X damage to target creature or player. If a creature is dealt damage this way, it loses indestructible until the end of turn. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. And our flip is Hinterland Logger. For 1 and a green, gets you a 2/1 human werewolf. And we flip it into Timber Shredder, which is a 4/2 werewolf with trample. And it looks like we have a foil here. And our foil is Vampire Noble, which, oddly enough, is one of the foils I got from the Booster Box Apocalypse one. So I've got 2 copies of the same foil. Set that foil there, I guess. Forest, which is oddly rare for packs of Shadows Over Innistrad, and a clue token. Okay, we have Dissension in the Ranks, Veteran Cathar, Graph Mole, and our rare is Transversed the Ulvenwald. Sure. For 1 green, it is a sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Has Delirium. There are 4 more card types among the cards in your graveyard. Instead, search your library for a creature or land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. And our flip is Breakneck Rider. For 1 and 2 red, gets you a 3/3 Human Scout Werewolf. You do the flippy thing, and it turns into a 4/3 werewolf with attacking creatures you control get +1/+0 and have trample. And a Vampire Knight token. Man, the artwork, I mentioned this before, but the artwork in this set is really, really stellar. Okay, we have Groundskeeper, Reaper of Flight Moonsilver, Inner Struggle, and Brain in a Jar, which is an awesome name for a card. It is a 2-cost artifact. You can pay 1, tap, and put a charge counter on Brain in the Jar. Then you may cast an instant or sorcery card with a converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on Brain in a Jar from your hand without paying its mana cost. Or you can pay 3, tap, remove X charge counters from Brain in a Jar, and scry X. Oh, sorry, we got a little bit of a foil sneak preview there, I think. Hermit of the Natternolls is our flip card. For 2 and a green, it gets you a 2/3 human werewolf. Whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, draw a card. And then we can do the... Oh wait, at the beginning of each upkeep, this is different. At the beginning of each upkeep, if... No, it's not, sorry. I thought there was a different condition there for a second. And it transforms into Lone Wolf of the Natternolls, a 3/5 werewolf, and whenever opponent casts a spell during your turn, draw 2 cards. And our foil is Obsessive Skinner. So for 1 and a green, when you get a 1/1 human rogue, and when Obsessive Skinner enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. It has Delirium, so if there are 4 or more card types among the cards in your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. And another clue token. So these are spilling over here. Lightning Axe, which is a card that I really like the design of. Paranoid Parish Blade, which is a great name. Ulvenwald Mysteries, and our rare is Seasons Past, a mythic. Wonderful. It is 4 and 2 green for a sorcery. Return any number of cards from with different converted mana costs from your graveyard to your hand. Put Seasons Past on the bottom of its owner's library. So pretty nice. Mythic. And we have Abyssinian Missionaries. It is 3 and 1 white. Gets you a 3/3 human cleric at the beginning of your end step. If Abyssinian Missionaries is equipped, transform it into Lunarch Inquisitors. It is a 4/4 human cleric, and when this creature transforms into the Inquisitors, you may exile another target creature until Inquisitors leaves the battlefield. And a different clue token. First uncommon is Spectral Shepherd, Howl Pack Resurgence, Morkrut Necropod, and Anguished Unmaking. Excellent, I was hoping to get a copy of this card, and I'm bumping the camera. Anguished Unmaking is an instant. It costs 1 and 1 white and 1 black. Exile target non-land permanent. You lose 3 life. Our flip is Autumnal Gloom, which is a 2 and 1 green cost enchantment. You can pay black, put the top card of your library into the graveyard. It has Delirium, so when Delirium kicks in, you may flip, and it becomes Ancient of the Equinox, which is a 4/4 treefolk creature with trample and hexproof. Plains. And a human soldier token. We have Hope Against Hope, Haunted Cloak, Highland Lake, and our rare is Transverse the Ulvenwald. And I won't read it again because we already have a copy of this. And our flip is Convicted Killer, so for 2 and a red gets you a human werewolf, 2/2 creature, and we do the flip thing with it, and it becomes Branded Howler, which is a 4/4 werewolf creature. Oh yes, and we also have the rules reference card, which I forgot to point out before. We have Gloom Widow, Ulvenwald Mysteries. See, now I can say that properly. Biting Rain, and son of a... You know, I was prepping myself in case I got this card. Triska Decaphobia, which is the fear of the number 13. So for 3 and a black, it gets you an enchantment, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you can choose one of the following. Each player with exactly 13 life loses the game. Then each player gains 1 life. Or each player with exactly 13 life loses the game. Then each player loses 1 life. I am a sucker for cards that create alternate win conditions. So I believe it was Loading Ready Run who got this card to spoil. And yeah, it's a very cool card, and I'm probably going to try to build a deck around it, because I like building decks around these cards that give you sort of alternate win conditions. Our flip is Town Gossip Monger. So for 1 white, you get a 1/1 human creature. It has tap an untapped creature you control, transform, town, gossip monger, and you transform it into Infected Rabble, which is a 2/3 human creature. Incited Rabble attacks each combat if able. You can pay 2, and it gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. And we seem to have another card here, which is another rare Sage of the Ancient Lore for 4 and a green. You get a human shaman werewolf with XX as its power and toughness, or star. Sage of Ancient Lore's power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand. When the Sage of Ancient Lore enters the battlefield, draw a card. At the beginning of the upkeep, if there are no spells cast, you can transform it into Werewolf of Ancient Hunger, which is a star as well too. Werewolf, it has vigilance and trample, and the Ancient Hunger's power and toughness are each equal to the total number of cards in all players' hands. So a bonus rare, very, very nice. And we're going into our last pack from this fat pack. We have Groundskeeper, Ghoulsteed, Rise from the Tides, and our rare is Fevered Visions. For 1 and a blue and a red, gets you an enchantment. At the beginning of each player's end step, that player draws a card. If the player is your opponent and has 4 or more cards in hand, Fevered Visions deals 2 damage to him or her. And our flip is Heir of Falcon Wrath, I believe is the pronunciation. For 1 and a black, it gets you a 2/1 vampire. You can discard a card, transform Heir of Falcon Wrath, activate this ability only once each turn. There's a foil, but we hopefully flipped it quicker than you guys can see it. And it is Heir to the Night, a 3/2 vampire berserker with flying. And our foil is Sanitarium Skeleton. For 1 black, you get a 1/2, and it has pay 2 and 1 black. Return Sanitarium Skeleton from your graveyard to your hand. A swamp, and a zombie token to finish things out. So there you go, folks. That was the Shadows Over Innistrad Fat Pack opening for the channel. We ended up with 3 clues if you were keeping score, 3 foils, 1 mythic, and on top of the mythic, we also got 10 rares, which means there were 11 rare or higher cards out of 9 packs, which is pretty nice in my opinion. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the videos. If you have any questions, comments, or if you just want to tell me some of the great pulls that you got out of your packs of Shadows and Innistrad, please leave that in the comments section below. Otherwise, take care, everyone. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It means a lot to us here at the channel, and I'll see you all very soon.